What we're going to do now is to create the Cred function, so the controllers and services for the item. Let's go back to GitHub. So this is now the next one that I'm going to do. But first things first, I noticed that I had a what you call this, a typo with the code that I have created earlier. So instead of sales details, I have typed here sale details, which is not supposed to be sale details. So yeah, so what I'm going to fix that first. Yeah, so closing this one, so it's supposed to be sales details, not sale details. So sales details. Now going to the model again, this is going to be sales details, not sale details. So there you go. And all right, earlier we haven't transferred to another branch, and we have directly pushed the changes directly to the main branch, which is a bad practice. So it's supposed to be, we should create a new branch when we're using the code and not directly work on the main branch. So first, that's the first thing that I'm going to do now. So git branch checkout, and then I'm going to rename this branch as feature, and then item controller services cred. Okay. And yeah, I cannot transfer to this new branch if I have changes in the main branch. Ah, wait, sorry, it's just a typo. So I'm not supposed to be adding branch here, it's just supposed to be checkout. There you go. So now that we are transferred in the branch, so I'm going to create a route. So let me just close this one, close everything. So going to create a route. Usually the route is in the folders called route. Very obvious, right? So I'm going to create a route for this. So it's going to be item router.use, and it's going to be item. So if it's going to be item, it's going to look like this. So localhost, right, let me just comment this, localhost, and then http localhost, and then 3000, and then API v1, and then item. Yeah, so this is what it's going to be. So yeah, I'm just going to delete this one now. It's not really needed, it's just a comment. So yeah, deleting it. So item, but now it needs a controller for that one. That's why I'm going to create a controller. As you can see here, the contact has a contact controller. So for the controller, I'm going to name it as such, item controller. And with the item controller, I'm going to import the express. Yeah, so forgot to add a file type for this one, so we're using TypeScript, so .ts. So I'm going to import from Express, because we are using Express framework with, sorry, we're using Express framework for our node server. So it's request, just getting used to the keyboard. Request response next function. This is the common boilerplate for that one, for the node server, Express server. And yeah, so I'm going to create a controller now. So it's item router equals router, and we're going to export that one, item router. So this is going to be the controller for it. And yeah, I'm just going to add, sorry, in here, item router. But instead of item router, I'm just going to change this into item controller. yeah, item controller. Yep, there you go. So item router dot route. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Cred function, right? So Cred function. So that means Cred is create, read, update, and delete. So that is a Cred function. But first is I'm just going to create a get function. So get all items. How about I just going to add some create first? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so instead of get, I'm just going to add some create then. So for us to create item router that route, is create item. With this one, it's going to be like localhost. Yeah, HTTP localhost 3000 API v1 item, which is in this one. So item and then slash create item. So this is going to be this one, the one that I'm going to create here. So this is a post function. So every time you're going to create a create, so it's going to be post. So asynchronous function, so it will take request, response, and a next function. This is a next function. Yeah, so this is a TypeScript boilerplate. So with this one, the next value is all of the error is going to be pushed to next. So all of the errors here is going to be pushed into the index.js. So all of this here is going to be pushed on the main one, which is this. So this is the error catcher. This is error handler. So this is what it's going to do with the error. So it will read what kind of error it is, and if the default error is going to be just this one, 500, and if not, it's going to be error 400. So yeah, but I'm not going to focus on that one because I'm just going to create a Cred function. So right now I'm going to detect the user's company data. So for me to detect that one, request that current user. So this is the current user that I have in the global data. So company ID. And if there's no company ID, I'm just going to throw an error response. No, error response of, yeah, current message is current user has no company, and then error number is 404. That means it's has not found. Yeah. Lacks new. Okay, so rest.status JSON. So this is going to be the response for the server. True. Then yeah, let's try this route. So there you go. Let's try that route. So this one is in items, so it's a new controller, so I'm just going to create a new folder here just called item, and yeah, I'm just going to move it somewhere here, just below contact. And this one is create an item. Yeah, so it's post, request, and then yeah, sending it now. Oh yeah, URL is empty, so I already have created this one, so it's item slash create item. So that's the the route for it. Wait. Let me just make sure that I got this correctly. Yeah, I haven't started the server yet. That's the reason why. So, server is now starting. I'm just going to check if we really have this route here. So, there you go. Let us see if it really is here. Yeah, so we really are connected to this one, and yeah, I'm just going to try and send some data. So example, the data that I'm going to send is just the company ID of the user. So let's try and do that. Every time I'm going to make some changes, it will rebuild the server. So let's just wait for a while. This is just so that we can check if we really have the correct, or if this route is really working. So yep, so Firebase ID has expired, so for us to reinitialize that one, wait, yeah, so for us to reinitialize that one, I'm just going to like simulate that we are logged in. Yeah, there you go. So this is the authorization code. That's the security measure for Firebase, so that it will change. It will change many times, this authorization code in our, so that any penetrators can't use the same token for a specific period of time. Yeah, there you go. So we have now renewed it. Okay, so this is the company ID that we are using. So that means that this is working. But as you can see, what we're trying to create is a controller for it, a service, like create something in our database. So just going to delete this one. Yep, so we are done with this one. So I think I'm just going to stop this video because we are already done with the first milestone, like create a controller and a route for it. So the other video is going to be for the next one, the controller and the services for it. Yeah, so I'm just going to stop this now.